Hi guys, at ArcoLinux we release the ISOs monthly, and every month we write an article, a release article on arcolinux.info, and in that article 2 videos. One is how to update and one is what's new. The video how to update, that's this one, right? This is the old ISO of July, and we're going to install it offline. That means we're going to get XFCE. And then we see all the updates coming in from Arch and ArcoLinux. The other option is the online option. The online option is immediately getting all the data from online, right? So we need to go for an offline installation to see what changed these few months. If you didn't know, that's the one thing we don't do, that's release in August. So August, July and August is our holiday months, and we step away a little bit from Linux and computers and enjoy life. And then in September we're back. So July latest release, August no release, and September release again. So we are now beginning, or almost the end of August. In 5 days the official release is there, and 1 week before the official release is always the ISOs. They go on AAG, and that's basically the auditing group. So users asked us, can we test it? Can we beta test your ISOs before release? Yes, you can. So 1 week in advance, these ISOs will be on one specific place. All the information is on archlinux.info. Info stands for information, and there's the link to seed host. You can grab them, install them, let us know. All's well, right? So an offline installation, basically it's time warp, right? You get the config packages, kernels from, let's say, the end of June. Beginning July release means we need to build it a week or two in advance. It's actually, you can read it, right? June the 18th. We've built the ISOs, we tested the week, we give it to you to test it for a week. So 2 weeks prior to the end of the month, we are building our ISOs, testing them thoroughly, and then we release at the beginning of the month. So that's the cycle we go through every single month except August. So we'll have around, if you see it, the date here, so 2 months almost of time. Well, 2 months of time. And a little bit more, right, of updates. And in Arch, that's a lot. We'll see, right? It's about gigabytes. And it always depends where you live in this little globe of ours, in this galaxy, how much you pay, how good your internet is, etc., how stable it is. But yes, Arch in general has a lot of updates, and yeah, if that's a problem, maybe they're better distributions out there with less updates. Let's wait for the installation to finish, and then we're going to update the system, which is important on Windows, on Mac, on Linux, alike on iOS, on Android. We need to update for security, stability, and such more. Let's pause. All right, PC is installed. Restart now. And basically, since it's almost September, this is going back in time. This is beginning of, well, middle of June, right? I know we need to update, and that's what this video is all about. Knowledge, how to update your system. You can update ArchLinux, ArcoLinux, any other Arch there with knowledge. That's all you're required. Another thing I'd like to share in this video about knowledge, right? We used to have the Ctrl F version and Ctrl F in VirtualBox to create it full screen. That's due to a choice of packages. Sudo pacman -remove, virtual, that's enough. The Nox version doesn't do that. So if we remove the Nox version, let's first do an update so the databases are in. So these warnings means you did not type update yet. So with update, the databases come in, and then it knows that package is there. Okay, so I'm not gonna update, so Control C, I'll do that later. Let's stick to VirtualBox now. Sudo pacman, so an extra thing to learn. There is something called VirtualBox. And where is he? Guest utils. So not the Nox version, not the new version, latest version, but the guest utils. So at some point in time, the Arch guys said, let's use in archling. Well, it's Arch ISO is the way we create our ISOs, and archling is about, or relang is about choosing the pieces from the Lego box, how we're gonna create it. So this is another package, and it's a better one, since if we reboot, you'll see that the right Control F is working. So we don't have the issue of smaller screen in VirtualBox. It's just knowledge that I give you. It's just for VirtualBox, okay? And it's just for Arch. Don't choose Nox. And Arch is Arch, right? As you can see, there's no need for me to go in here. This was the other solution, to go in here and go for display and set it. Now automatically with the normal version, not the Nox version, voila, there we are. So now we continue. That was an extra bit of info. We update, right? There are two things. Just don't mind and you just want to update, fine. You want to keep track of things, then you need to know your aliases, and there are quite a few on Arch. So if you have a look at CB, for example, so this one is a good one, or the Badger C, this one is a good one. So in here are those aliases. You can read them in the terminal or you can read them in the file, but most importantly, use them, right? Use them. And one of them is backup skel. And backup skel is going to do this. Basically, it's going to have a look at what this is in here, which is the backup. This is the backup of all the things that do work, right? This is our release, our config of anything. Qtile, BSP, WM, anything has its backup in etc skel. So when I type backup skel, it's literally what it means, backup this etc skel, and it's in here. So now I have a double backup basically. But when you update, the etc skel changes. And that's why we make backup skel, to see before the update and after the update what changed. So this is good that it happens, right? Failed to synchronize all database, unable to log database. It means something is open already. Remember this sentence, there can be only one pacman working, right? If you've seen the films about Highlander, there can be only one. Remember the Highlander movies, right? If that says something to you. So that's why it was not working. I can try and show you it again. If I do this, right? If I say update again, he'll say it's already locked. Now I know there is something called unlock, but it doesn't make sense, right? Figure out where's the terminal that locks pacman, because there can be only one. All right, and then enter, 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 enter. So yes, 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 yes. So the extra has nothing to do with us, right? Extra is not from us. These three are Arch, and we overrule them with our own if needed. Normally not, but if something is wrong, we overrule it with ours because they're on the top. First one gets, well, installed. So a lot of name changes from ArcoLinux, fine by us. So we say just yes, 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 yes. Basically everything is now in the word Ruby, right? In the package Ruby, that's where everything goes into. Ruby date is in Ruby. Ruby did you mean is in Ruby. So fine by us. And as you see, Arch is a lot of updates, right? There's no way around it. ArcoLinux. So if you did not read the text on the arcolinux.info website, 90% of what you see here is coming from Arch. 5% is coming from ArcoLinux and 5% is coming from the AOR or ArcoLinux user repository. So yeah, that's the amount we need to download, that's the amount we need to install, and that's the difference, the net upgrade. And there's only one thing to really, well, there's always something, well, many things to remember about an operating system, but the major thing is that ArcoLinux signs the packages, because we want to make sure that a hacker can't possibly change your operating system, right? A package on a repo is signed by a key, and the key is trusted. And from time to time these keys expire or they're removed and so on. What you need to remember is sudo pacman -s archlinux keyring. That's where all these signatures reside, and it needs to be updated. And from time to time you'll see videos, this one is like that one, right? This is where we can show there's a problem, right? Is unknown trust. And this is the place where everything is downloaded. And that's the package, Python toml-kit, right? Is corrupted, invalid or corrupted package, PGP signature. Do you want to delete it? Yeah, you can delete it, but you won't get further, right? All these guys here, so look at the name, archlinux.org, this guy, it's all from the same guy. So all these packages can't be installed, and it ends. The story just ends. This is the thing you need to remember. Sudo pacman -s archlinux keyring, or we've made it simple for you, but it's just on ArcoLinux, right? Nowhere else. Fix key is good, or the other guys like that, fix key S, just type fix, tap, then you see all the fix things. They're all pointing to the same file, fix key, fix keys like that, fix keys like that, with a Z, without, right? We made a few of them, and it's all pointing to the same thing. So if you think, what was it again? Any of those guys just runs our script. And it's a script that cleans up pacman. It's really is a script that just is going to erase whatever problems you might have with pacman and its keys and reset everything from scratch. So that's your second option. But normally this is the, oh my god, I have a big problem, I can't solve it with this, right? Then it's fix key. But this is probably just all it needs, a new keyring, right? New package. This is the one from June. So in June they released a package with the signatures of people, but this one, well, was probably out of date, meaning we need to make the key, ensure that the key is longer, and it did that, and a month later, voila, 0709, the signature is now back inside the keyring. Let's wait for it, voila. And if we update again, that might be the only thing we need, the ArcoLinux keyring. And keep the fix key for stuff that says, oh my god, it's still not fixed, right? It's really tabula rasa, if you know what it means. Clean slate, remove and start again with pacman and all its keys and GPG things. So these guys were from this particular person there, and they're now downloaded and installed. This is all good because this is the way. This is all good, right? Just trust me. And upgrading it goes, upgrading system D, blah blah blah. Yep, information. So as you may see, if you're watching a few videos, often, as in 99.9%, I update in the terminal. Why? I read what it says. I see what it says. I learn after 7 years already, right? You know the packages more and more and better after 7 years of following all these lines here, and you realize that this is doing that, that's doing that. More or less you grasp your own operating system, and that's the point of ArcoLinux. Educational, understanding how does an operating system work? And that starts with working in a terminal and looking around and see what does this do, what does that do, some information we read, what's this, what's all that, and you follow, right? Let's see where we are at the end. So what did I do? I can scroll up and then press spacebar. When I press spacebar, I'm at the end. Nothing happens, nothing broken. It just moves my process. The process is way back down there, and with the spacebar, I am immediately to the end. So 2 months of update, more or less. Upgrading, right? Upgrading. There is no installing, it's just upgrading of what we have. And these guys, I did a clean install, and a clean install means everything is still there. What is everything? Everything is something you could remove. Check it out, but probably, right? You don't need, you may not need, you never know, I don't know, you need to know that. There are some things called remove. Remove all kernels but Linux. Remove all kernels but the Linux cache OS. So there are some choices that you can make. At this point in time, if you type kernels, all kernel, you know I have the normal Linux kernel and the Zen kernel. So if I choose only to have the Zen kernel, I run this, remove all kernels but the Linux Zen, or remove all kernels but Linux. So I keep Linux and remove the Zen. So those are the choices. But this thing here, if you don't have Broadcom and you don't have Realtek 8821, it slows down your update. If that's no problem for you, that's no problem for you. But there is this thing called this thing, remove Broadcom Realtek. That's basically exactly what it says, right? It's going to remove these things, which means you can spare some time in updating here, because he's building packages for it. And if you're building a driver that you don't have, right, it doesn't make sense. So here are some remove things if you want to remove microcode or variety or XFCE4, things that are easy for you to do. Can you do it another way? Of course you can. Control C, just like always, sudo pacman -remove. It's called Broadcom, and there he is, right? That's one thing. And the Realtek starts with RTL and then tap tap. That's the Realtek thing. And that's just a little bit more typing, but it's basically the same thing as here, right? Remove the Broadcom thing, this guy, and remove that guy. That's basically what we say in here. So clean up your act basically after a clean install. Have a look around. Are there things you don't want to have? Probably yes, right? There will be software in here that say, I don't want that, I don't want that, right? SophieRAM is your friend, and SophieRAM is Sophie for us, and Sophie can be launched, and you say, all right, let's install more, and let's install less. That's up to you. So you see here the font manager is installed, boom, font manager is gone. Simple as that. And you go through a list, have a look around here. I would do it probably like this. Have a look and say, okay, I want that. Don't want Sublime Text. Okay, Sublime Text has to be here somewhere. So Sublime Text, it's now removed. Now it's removed. Okay, so it is like anything. There are so many beautiful packages, free packages on Linux. It's up to you to choose which one you use. It's just Lego blocks, right? Choose your Lego blocks you want to play with, and Sublime Text is back again. So there's that. Then we have the backup skel again. Why again? The backup skel, so this one before the update, and backup skel after the update. Provides maybe some insight of what's new, which is basically actually the next video, right? Open with git ahead if it's installed. By default, I don't. So def is something I type, or Willow, right? Depending where I am. Willow is going to install Sublime Text, Platinum Search, Blue Searcher here, and Meld. And Meld is what I need. So right mouse click, compare, that's the one I needed, not the other one. And then file filters, don't want to see the same thing, just want to see the new things. So I seem to have changed something in Thunar, seem to have changed something in config fish. So bash RC, I added the line CLS. You see? That's it, CLS. In the bash RC, ZSH and fish. And set will be per Arco. I've changed something for Flexi. So Flexi is a project of ours that's basically DWM. I can have a look there as well. And XFC settings, it seems. Terminal, we've set something in the terminal here. File here, keyboard shortcuts. We've changed some keyboard shortcuts as I see here. Your XVT is out. Same here. Atom was gone, died some years ago. So code was still in there, delete, and such things more. So basically with a new code, keyboard shortcuts. So the pressing of keyboards shortcuts is important. Certainly if you want to learn about tiling window managers. So do have a look, because they're all the same everywhere. Once you know them, you're set. I've added some desktops here, DP-1, to make sure that you have this beautiful wallpapers of ours everywhere, depending on the screen name. So all these screens have a name, depending on the hardware. Voila. You need to set them in XFCE. I guess we need to update, because did I skip something? Nothing to do. Yeah, okay, fine. So here maybe some code that we put in there. Open terminal. If instead of a unique ID, we've given it the name Open Terminal, and that's it. Voila. So the small things that we've changed during mid-June and now end of August. Let's update our main reboot. And so this is my Super X thing. This is not XFC like, so that's normally this, and then log out, restart, or that, and then log out, restart. So it's how you like to reboot. It's in my fingers, right? I'm always on tiling window manager, so Super X is easily pressed. I've chosen grub in this installation. You can choose system deboot or UEFI or EFI. Refined. Yep. And there we go, right? Update. There's still one thing I might explain, and that's the fact that Upall as well, that's for AOR stuff. So if you have installed things from the AOR, you're also gonna look at those packages and update them as well. And there is still one more, and that's of course the skel. Let's end with skel. And there is a link in here. It's something specific to ArcoLinux. So have a look what this skel is all about. We use it quite a few times, and in all videos, and in real life I use it a lot of times. Basically we're gonna copy paste the etc skel, so this one, the content of that one. We were tired of you doing this, Control A, Control C, go to Eric and Control V. We were tired of doing that, right? And then replace all. Instead of that action, we said let's make a script that also makes a backup. So if you say yes, there is a backup. Let's see. And then later on, if something has been removed, overwritten, what you do is you compare, so install Meld, and you see the differences between them. Again, make sure the file filter, same, is off, so you see the difference between your config, right, and the new config. Skel is basically putting back the setting of BSPWM, of Awesome, of Qtile. So if you mess code up and you're stuck in a black screen because Qtile won't boot up, Xmonad won't boot up because a comma was forgotten, right? Then you type skel, the correct code goes in to your home directory, and a backup is created. And then you check again, why is the left code here working and why is my code not working? And you go about, well, I think Meld is one of the best options to figure out quickly what's the difference between this thing and that thing. Oh, I forgot a space. All right, so skel is now in order, meaning with skel, my CB, the CLS thing that we have, right? This CLS thing, all I need to do is activate it. So copy bash CB, one of the aliases, have a look. It activates the new code, and CLS, there it is. One of the older commands in the past, right? Clean or CLS. All right, that's it for me. A long video. Yep, 26 minutes, long enough. A lot of knowledge and maybe some repetition, that's okay. Remember the VirtualBox Nox thing. So if anything, if you're somewhere else on something Arch based, that's a thing to remember if you are on VirtualBox. Otherwise, really doesn't matter. All right, cheers.